Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to WBE Season 3, Week 8, Heat of the Week. My name is Chris Cobain, and this week we got a list I'm a pretty big fan of, to be honest with you, and we have a kind of a first. It's a pretty big first, but it's kind of subjective on how you feel about it, I guess. But you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about when we actually get to number 1, because that's when everything kicks in. But it's a pretty good list overall. There's a couple of sets on here I waffled on quite a bit, especially number 6 for reasons. But you'll see what I'm talking about when I actually jump into number 6. It's, I don't know. It's like a self-conflicting thing going on inside my head about number 6 this week. But overall, I do like this week's a lot. It was a lot easier to come up with than last week's. Last week's was rough with how much I had to work with. There wasn't an absolute ton of stuff to work with this week, honestly. In fact, the six I've got on this list that you're gonna see are pretty much the only 6 that I felt like were able to be on the list in some manner or another. Again, number 1 will kind of clear up the confusion about that, but there wasn't like other sets I was like really thinking should make the list. This was a pretty weird week too, because a lot of people were late. There were like 3 or 4 battles that actually were not uploaded on Saturday, and then there were a couple that were actually uploaded on Monday, which is a day before I record this. So it all got kind of awkward, and I had to binge watch a couple of late videos so I could try to get stuff in. So, but it's a good list. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in at number 6, and you'll see what I mean immediately with this set going in. At least I assume you will. We're going with Zygarde 10, coming in from Duncan and his Free State Torracats, going up against Mr. Talent and the New York Marauders. Now, you might see exactly why I'm iffy on this set, but you should understand immediately why this set is number 6 as opposed to being any higher on the list. So let's take a look at its R break, of course. Leftovers, 204 HP, 52 attack, and 252 speed with that jolly nature. 1,000 arrows, toxic, protect, and substitute. So, I know. Look, you gotta understand, at least to some manner, that sometimes running stuff like this is the answer in Draft League format. Sometimes it's gotta be defensive, it's gotta be stally, it's gotta be, well, no pun intended, it's gotta be toxic. And I think Duncan actually said the word scummy when he was referring to his own Zygarde, which on some levels it is, but sometimes it's the answer. I am not huge on putting sets like this on Heat of the Week because I kind of feel like that in its own right, running a set like this isn't really Heat at all. But it is a Zygarde 10. This is a set that you see somewhat commonly on Zygarde 50, but Zygarde 10 is nothing like Zygarde 50. It is way, way less bulky. It's way frailer than Zygarde 50% is. And this thing's known for going down to whispers. It dies to pretty much any relevant hit that hits it normally. So to run a completely defensive set like this on such a frail Pokemon is a pretty interesting play in its own right. It did put in work as well, otherwise it definitely wouldn't make the list. But it did beat Nihilego with 1,000 arrows after outspeeding it. It completely shut down Talon's Buzzwole, which was its entire purpose, able to get Toxic up on it and then sub and protect itself to health so that the Buzzwole could not fight it no matter what move it was clicking. Drain Punch for what it's worth. And then at the very end, to top everything off, this actually won the game for Duncan this week. It was able to take out Stunfisk with 1,000 arrows, and then it was able to live return from Talon's Ambipom at the very end and counter back with another 1,000 arrows to finish the game, completing 3 kills, or 3 direct kills. I'm not sure. I can't remember if the Buzzwole straight up died to the Toxic or not as like an indirect thing, but it did pick up at least 3 kills with 1,000 arrows. And I know some people in the comments, and I trust me, understand, would be like, wow, this is like, I get it. It's Thali. It's not what I'd consider Heat, but I think like super Heat or anything. But we're putting it at number 6 for a couple of reasons. Not the least of which is that there wasn't much else to go with, and it did put in work, and it is definitely a non-standard set for Zygarde 10. You cannot argue that this is not this is not an interesting set for Zygarde 10 at the very least. So we give it a pass on that. All right. Now, that's the last one that's like, okay? So let's jump into number 5. And this is going to be Kyle A. and the Miami Dolphins going up against Cybertron and the Melbourne Rotoms. This is his Nidoqueen, however you want to pronounce it. And I like this set a lot, super lot. When I saw it, this was not submitted to me, but I definitely had to have it. I requested it immediately upon seeing what it did. So it's running Sheer Force, Black Sludge, 252 HP, 212 defense, 44 special defense. Nothing crazy there. Pretty normal spread of bulky Nidoqueen is what you're expecting. Adamant Nature is cool. Super Fang, Toxic Spike, Super Power, and Rock Slide are the sets we're looking at this week. And Nidoqueen put in a large chunk of work for Kyle this week, and it definitely deserved a spot on the list because of what it did to Blissey, which was pretty much, it took out Blissey on turn 2 after a Super Fang and a Super Power back-to-back. A normally immensely obnoxious Blissey was relegated to being taken out in 2 turns. He used Super Fang on turn 1 as the Blissey set up Stealth Rocks. Cybertron's like, okay, it's not going to do much to me. I'm a Blissey. Even if it's like pops a Z move on me, I should be fine. So he's like, I'm going to go ahead and soft boil, get myself back up, see what it does. Got popped by Super Power, dead immediately. And that's right off the bat. That's what we're looking for Heat of the Week. That's not something you're used to seeing. Super Fang is not something that's super uncommon on Nidoqueen. It does happen. It does show up every now and again, but combining Super Fang with Super Power on top of that to be able to take out Blissey in 2 shots without it being none the wiser is definitely very cool. For what it's worth, it was able to set up Toxic Spikes, 2 layers of Toxic Spikes after that as well. And to top things off, it was able to hit a Super Fang on Mega Slowbro to get it down to half health before finally going down to, I think, Scald or Psychic or one of those 2 things until it actually died. So, very, very good. It relegated Blissey to only setting up Stealth Rocks, which literally got defogged off later in the match, or spun off, I should say, later in the match from Kyle's side. So very, very good for the Nidoqueen. Very good to take out a Pokemon as annoying as Blissey with little to no resistance whatsoever. Definitely deserving of number 5 on the list. All right, jumping in to number 4 now. It's going to be Mew. It's going from Vivid. It's going from the South Texas Sableye. Mew is always so difficult for me. There's been a couple of times where I've looked at Mew. The problem with it is that it can do literally anything and does pretty much everything to some degree. It's, we've all seen it defensive, we've all seen it offensive, we've all seen it set up. So it's really, really tough to look at Mew and literally have any Mew set be shown and then call it heat. That's hard for me. But I did like this set enough to think it deserved a spot on the list this week. This is the second time I think it's been on the list. I don't remember I think it was on here week 1 with some kind of Psychium Z set. I don't exactly remember what it did, but I think this is the second time it's made the list. But he was going up against Iron Boffin and the Rochester Rhydons. So, of course, Synchronize, Expert Belt, 204 HP, 4 defense, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, 44 speed, all those EVs. Modest Nature, Thunderbolt, Earth Power, Dazzling Gleam, and Rock Polish. According to Vivid, this set was able to hit everything on Boffin's team for super effective damage except for Boffin's Shaman. The minimal speed EVs at 44 would allow him to outspeed Scarf Staraptor, even being modest. After a Rock Polish, it was faster than Scarf Staraptor. And then, of course, the max special attack modest, so it's as powerful as possible. And it said that it was able to hit everything on Boffin's team post Stealth Rocks, no problem. And all the bulk on him, while the 204 HP was so that he would be able to set up on more Pokemon actively. And this set put in work, definitely put in a lot of work. It was able to set up Rock Polish after switching in on what I imagine was a Scarf Staraptor. Switched in on its CC, ate that, took no damage, was able to set up Rock Polish on the 4th switch. And then from there, just went off. I think 4 kills. Kills Suicune with Thunderbolt, kills Raptor with Thunderbolt, kills Jolteon with Earth Power, kills Blaziken with Earth Power. All of that without any offensive boost whatsoever. No nasty plot or nothing like that. The Expert Belt obviously kicked in on all 4 of those hits because they're all super effective. So a good game plan on his part to be running Expert Belt, knowing he can everything for super effective damage. But Rock Polish and no Psychic Stab. Able to come in, set up Rock Polish easily, pick up 4 kills, no problem. I felt like that was good enough to make the list this week. So we went and did it. Number 4. And good stuff to Vivid. Very good, man. All right, let's see. Jumping into number 3 this week. We got Woofy Glick and the Milwaukee Bewares running Excadrill. And this set was awesome. I love this one to death. He's going up against, I think it's pronounced Automatic, and his Nuzleafs. I'm not going to even attempt to say the name associated with the Nuzleafs because I'm not sure what it is. But in any case, he was going up against Automatic. And this Excadrill was super awesome. Loved it. We're going Sand Rush, Assault Vest, 252 HP, 252 Special Defense, and Careful. Just an absolutely specially defensive monster on Excadrill here. I have seen specially defensive Excadrill once or twice, but I definitely have not seen it a lot, especially combined with the Assault Vest. Normally, when you're looking at Excadrill, you're thinking of a completely sand-based sweeper, potentially a choice scarfed one, when there's no sand coming through with the mold breaker, obviously, or something to that effect. But I don't think you're really looking at it and thinking of it being a completely specially defensive wall, but it's very, very underrated in that sense. It is max HP, max special defense with the AV, allows it to completely stuff Raikou, even though it can use Aura Sphere, Latios, even though it can use Surf, and Clefable, even though it can use Fire Blast with ease. It took absolutely no damage from any of those things. Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Spin, and Poison Jab. 3 basic moves. Poison Jab isn't that out of there. I'm pretty sure he didn't actually say, but I'm pretty sure it was for Tangela if I had to take a guess. And this thing just dominated the entire game. It starts off by switching in on a super effective hidden power of some kind. I'm not sure what it was from the Raikou, but it did absolutely zero. He was able to counter back after it had been chipped. He was able to counter back and kill it with a Poison Jab. He was able to combo this very, very well with his Regenerator Torn to scout out Latios' Scarf, as he was aware it was Scarf based on how it was switching in on his Gengar. He was able to use Torn to scout out for Surf, or for Draco, or for whatever the Lati was clicking, and then after that was able to pivot immediately back into the Excadrill if it wasn't Surf, to go ahead and take that. He did that multiple times throughout the game, completely nullifying the Latios as a threat whatsoever. It did nothing. And then after Excadrill is forcing switches on the Lati, it allowed Woofy to keep maximum momentum at all times, continuously pivoting Excadrill immediately back out into something else like Torn or Gengar to get free stuff, free damage on Pokemon on Automatic side. Absolutely dominating performance thanks to this Excadrill completely shutting it down. Multiple times he was able to switch into Clefable as the Clefable set up rocks and then spin off the rocks immediately as the Clefable switched out. That happened 3 or 4 times, which was awesome because his Gengar was low, and of course his Torn does not want to take rocks damage, so he was able to keep them clean and keep them clear so they could keep coming back in for free and not having to worry about anything, especially with all the pivoting. And that is pretty much all it actually ended up doing this week. He didn't need it to do anything else. It did beat the Raikou, and it was able to completely nullify rocks and the Latios at the same time. But Wolfie, thanks to the Excadrill and all the momentum on all the free hits that Wolf was getting over and over and over again, the Excadrill didn't have to do any more offensive work the entire game. And he ends up surviving with a lot. He had over 50% HP when he was done after the game was over. I want to say he was close to 60, 65, something like that when the match ended. So this is more of a case of not actually what he did offensively, but how much complete, like how stifling he was to the opponent's team, just completely shutting it down multiple times, multiple Pokemon over and over and over again, and led to Wolf being able to get himself a pretty clean win this week. Coming in to number 2, and we're getting into the good stuff. I love number 2 and I love number 1 this week. Number 2 actually might personally be my favorite of the week just for how it happened. But we're going with Mr. Talent. We already talked about Duncan on the other side. We're going Mr. Talent and his Marauders going up against Duncan's Torcats and his Houndoom. And this thing was awesome. If you saw that match this week, I know that you love the Houndoom set. You had to. We're going Flash Fire. We're going Assault Vest. Just like the Excadrill, we're going the Assault Vest and the Careful Nature is 243 HP. That's a slash there. 124 attack, 4 defense, 84 special defense, 52 speed. With that Careful Nature, just like the Excadrill, Fire Fang, Super Fang, second Super Fang this week, Sucker Punch, and Pursuit. A fully physically offensive Houndoom. Definitely not something you're looking at very normally. Obviously, Houndoom is far, far more often going to be the especially offensive set. But not only is the set cool, not only is the Assault Vest cool, but he put in hella work this week. It was absolutely good, awesome. He started out this week by switching it on a hidden power ground from Duncan's, please don't make fun of me for this, Blacephalon. It's Blacephalon. Take the second one. I said it wrong the first time. It's Blacephalon. He was able to switch on a hidden power ground. It literally critical hit him and only did, I think, 40. Did like 40% to Houndoom. He absolutely ate it. Obviously, Duncan at that point realized, okay, not even another crit hidden power is going to kill him, so I got to switch out. It's going to use Dark Pulse. It's going to use something like that. Nope. It's going to click Pursuit. Blacephalon obviously is super duper frail. Got completely bodied by Pursuit. One shot by it. Took it out no problem. And that's a huge threat down for Talon at that point. And then it wasn't even done there. That would have been good enough to get it on the list, but it wasn't even done at that point. It was able to come back in later in the match against Z, I think Z Thunderbolt from the Jirachi, and literally lived that too. He had like 60% health, and it did like 50 or so to him, so he was able to live with a little bit of health, completely nullifying the Z move. And then, after that, was actually able to pop it with Sucker Punch as well. Now, the Jirachi was pretty healthy at that point, and obviously Houndoom's not the biggest physically offensive monster, so the Jirachi was able to live the Sucker Punch barely and kill after that and take him out, but he did do enough chip damage to the Jirachi to really give Talon a chance with the Ambipom. His Ambipom was going off, and the only thing that was really stopping it at that point was Jirachi being able to resist those returns, and he chipped it enough to be able to kill it with return, which almost set up the win for Talon. There, like I said, for the Zygarde entry, the Ambipom wasn't quite able to clutch it at the very end. But Houndoom put in the finest of work with this physical set, definitely destroying the Blacephalon and chunking very hard the Jirachi to give him a true chance of winning that it would have been rough otherwise. So very good. And that brings us to number one. So this one's weird. Okay, so let me show you what it is first, and then I'll really talk about it more in depth. The one you're gonna see, okay. It's going to be Old Man Tup, and the Pittsburgh Piratat is going to go with the Uzi Gunner and the Bullet Punch Club. And the one you're looking at is Klefki. Now, I need to make this perfectly clear because I said this was like the first time thing, and it really is. Klefki is being shown here for two reasons. One, personally, it was my favorite on his team, okay? And two, it had, for me, the best moment, which I'll talk about, and you will see. We'll see the game clip here in a second of what this Klefki did. But this number one this week literally is Tup's entire team. Like it's straight up, it's Tup's whole team. Period. He wins this week. I had to. It had to happen. If you have not seen this match, Old Man Tup versus Uzi Gunner, if you've not seen it, literally go watch it right now. It is phenomenal. Tup plays like an absolute monster, and his team's awesome. We're going to go over all of it. Not all 6 sets are super heat or anything like that, but overall, I couldn't decide on one Pokemon on Tup's team to be on this list. I just couldn't do it. So he's running a Calm Mind, Psyshock, Musharna. That's fine, right? Okay, nothing crazy there. He's running a sub-nasty plot Salic Berry Mismagius that set up on Uxie and did like 90% of Tapu Fini. Again, not too crazy. We're going a Focus Sash, Toxic Spike, Roserade that set up both layers of spikes immediately and Poison Kyurem with Sludge Bomb. We're still fine. But then we jump into Rotom. Rotom was featured last week for its spec set. We're going into Rotom with his Z Rain Dance set running Hydro Pump and Thunder. That's awesome. The Rotom was good. It was able to kill the Tapu Fini this week. It did get stalled out by the very, very bulky Kyurem. He was running hidden power fighting, but it didn't do enough damage, so he ended up getting stalled out by the roosting Kyurem and ended up dying to Arcanine. We've got his Tyranitar, which is the only set he actually submitted to me this week. For what it's worth, he submitted one set. It was his Tyranitar. His T-Tar was Weakness Policy, Rock Polish, and it was able to win him the game this week. It was able to come in on an Arcanine, predict no close combat correctly, set up Rock Polish, kill Arcanine, and kill Aerodactyl at the back-to-back. And then we got this Klefki that we are looking at right now that you guys are seeing. And what Klefki did was absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love this thing. So we'll give you some pretext as the video starts playing. Uzi Gunner had a Rhyperior. He used the Rhyperior to kill, I think, Musharna with Earthquake, okay? After a Swords Dance, or maybe even after 2 Swords Dance, he was able to use Earthquake to beat the Musharna. So we got like a Swords Dance Rhyperior going up against Tup's team to look bad. He switches directly into Klefki after seeing Earthquake. Now, everyone and their grandmother is going, okay, Magnet Rise, obviously. He literally just watched me kill something with Earthquake. Why would he switch into Steel type? Clearly Magnet Rise. Tup, though, makes a phenomenal play. He doesn't click Magnet Rise. He actually completely baits it. The Rhyperior clicks Stone Edge, predicting Magnet Rise, gets it dead ass wrong. Hits Klefki with Stone Edge. It does not a lot. It does like 30%, something like that. Ish. And the Klefki is able to counter back, I believe, with Psychic, and the Rhyperior is very, very low, and it was able to kill the Rhyperior with that, completely neutralizing the Swords Dance threat. Then on the next turn, in comes Kyurem. Kyurem switches back in after successfully stalling out the Rotom, being a pain in the butt, and clicks Earth Power, but then Tup, knowing he's pulled off the bait successfully. At this point, Uzi's like, okay, he doesn't have Magnet Rise. He would have used it against the Rhyperiors. He clearly doesn't have it. I got a free Earth Power here. Wrong. Klefki clicks Magnet Rise, and the Earth Power does nothing. And from there, Klefki is able to set up, I think, a couple of Calm Minds against the Ice Beaming Kyurem. Obviously, Calm Mind was going first thanks to the Prankster, giving him the boost before the Ice Beam hit him. He was able to set up the Calm Mind and finish off the Kyurem with Flash Cannon as well, securing its second kill and completely using Magnet Rise to completely play around Uzi the entire time. It was awesome. It was perfectly played on every single turn by Tup. It was amazing. Klefki itself ended up going down, I believe, to Arcanine. And that's what allowed Tyranitar to come in. He brought in T-Tar, predicted the no close combat, set up Rock Polish, killed with Earthquake, killed Aerodactyl with Stone Edge, and was able to secure himself a very solid win this week. But literally, I could not decide between the Klefki, the Rotom, and the T-Tar itself were the 3 I was looking at the most. And honestly, just because all of his sets were interesting and cool, and literally all of them put in some measure of work against the opponent team, whether it was the Toxic Spikes, whether it was chunking Tapu Fini to hell, or whatever the case may be. I literally, you can just imagine, number one is his entire team this week. Literally. Take your pick. If you like Klefki more, cool. If you like Rotom more, cool. If you like the T-Tar who actually won the game more, cool. Whatever it takes, it's Tup's whole team, all right? I told Tup this already. He was excited about it. Congratulations, man. Awesome team. I loved it to death. Honestly, one of my favorite battles I've ever watched in my entire life. Coming from Tup on this one. And I well-earned victory on the best overall 6 Pokemon team that's been built in the league this season. In my opinion, period. Of course, that's subjective. But, in my opinion, the best team I've seen built front to back the entire season. So, well done. That is the list this week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. I know you guys in the chat have differing opinions. You know, I know someone out there hates the Stolly Zygarde set and wants to say something to me about it, so go ahead. I know somebody wants to talk some cheese about the Klefki or number one in general, or the fact that, I don't know, the fact that Nidoqueen didn't do enough. I don't know. You can put whatever opinion you want in the comment section below. If there's any sets that did not make the list this week, please, as always, feel free to post them. Say something in the comments. Okay? But that is it for me, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys for week 9, all right? All right, peace.